What if, in the blink of an eye, the world as we know it came to a standstill? No emails, no social media, no online shopping. How would governments function? How would businesses survive? How would we, as a society, will cope? According to the renowned Pew Research Center, back in 1995, there were about 50 million internet users worldwide, mostly from institutions in industrial countries. Fast forward 20 years to 2015, and that number skyrocketed to 3.5 billion. 8 more years passed, and by the end of 2023, we hit 5.3 billion users. So what would happen if the internet suddenly disappeared from the entire world? First things first, let's ask a more basic question. Is it even possible for the internet to completely shut down? Could a massive disaster like a giant earthquake or a nuclear war knock out the internet globally? The short answer is, as long as Earth is spinning, the internet is sticking around. The internet isn't a fad that's going to fade away. It's become as essential as water and electricity. Even if someone tries to sabotage it intentionally, they won't succeed unless, heaven forbid, something catastrophic happens to the entire planet, like a dinosaur-level asteroid strike. And in that case, let's be honest, internet access would be the least of our worries because we might not even be around to miss it. The internet is resilient because of its robust infrastructure. It's not reliant on just one or a few devices. Instead, it's a vast network spread across the globe, even reaching into space via satellites. Sure, a country can block certain websites or cut off internet access within its borders, but that's as far as it goes. We've had significant outages before, like in 2008, when a major undersea cable was cut, disrupting internet services across several countries in the Indian subcontinent. But these were all temporary, and everything was eventually fixed. So our question is purely hypothetical. The internet isn't going anywhere, and neither are we. Now let's pretend there's a magic button that, if pressed, would turn off the internet worldwide. What would happen? Researchers say that if the internet went out for a week, there'd be minor economic chaos. Some companies could lose billions, especially those heavily dependent on the internet, like Meta, Google, or Amazon. Every sector, whether in commerce, security, or transport, would suffer losses, but the world wouldn't end. We'd recover and move on. The real trouble starts if the outage lasts longer. The group most affected would be internet addicts. For them, the internet is life. Without it, they'd face a massive void, struggling without social media, online games, and all the digital interactions they rely on. Psychologists warn there could even be reports of people feeling suicidal without their online lifelines. Now, let's talk about essential services. Transportation would face chaos. Modern vehicles, especially self-driving and electric cars, rely heavily on the internet. Without it, everything from electronic toll booths to traffic lights would fail, causing accidents and gridlocks. Air travel would be hit even harder. Modern planes depend on internet-based navigation systems. No internet, no flights, logistics, bookings, weather updates, baggage handling. Everything would grind to a halt. We can't just go back to the 80s with fax machines and regular phones to run an airport. Our infrastructure can't handle it, and the speed and volume of today's air traffic demand modern tech. E-commerce would collapse. Businesses relying on the internet for trade would vanish from the market, from small YouTubers like us to giants like Amazon and Meta. This could push the strongest economies into recession, especially those like the US, where the digital economy makes up 33% of the GDP. Then there's the financial system. Remember the start of the Ukraine-Russia crisis? The West threatened Russia with SWIFT bans. SWIFT is a global banking network. Imagine if SWIFT went down worldwide. It would cause a global financial meltdown. Just one day without the internet could cost a country like the US about $11 billion. That's it for today. Who made it to the end? You're the real best. Give us a like before you go so we know who made it all the way. And if you have a late night question, drop it in the comments. We might just answer it in our next video. Peace out.